are gathered here to fill you with fear and give you a treat for your ears. As we invade your mind with our scary rhymes and some tales that can be gory. As you bear witness and sit here and listen to our poetic horror stories. Hello, P.H.S. crew, and happy Mother's Day. Okay, ladies, as you can see from the title, it's time we have a deep discussion about our liberty, civil rights, and autonomy. The political climate today is at a heated all-time high, and politicians in Congress are making decisions about our bodies. They are deciding on where we fit into their male-centered dominated policies. They're so-called trying to make America great again by taking us all back to before the 1920s, when women didn't have the rights to vote. This present-day president's administration is a joke. They are trying to gut and dismantle everyone's constitutional rights that don't agree with their regulation and policies. And they are doing this without any remorse or any apologies. They are using the Christian Bible to make policies, to make laws. This is lunacy to us. To govern we the people from a book that have a very old way of thinking, that place women inferior to men. This is straight up criminal. But unfortunately, the Supreme Courts are mostly on the administration side with these decisions. They are not pushing back and passing the majority of their laws, which is not benefiting us, the whole. It makes you wonder, where did we go wrong? This is especially looking bad for women's civil rights. Listen, ladies, we are on a countdown. We have to take a stance and fight back, or things are going to get really ugly. But before we continue on with this video, please do us a favor. If you're new, please subscribe. We are on a mission to make it to 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year 2026. It's free. It won't cost you anything. Now, on with the show.
Hello, P.H.S. crew. We have a question for you. What did you give your mother for a gift today? Let's start a conversation in the comments below. We are dying to know.
History is often written as a monologue of kings. We are taught that power was a male inheritance, and that women in the ancient world were either pawns or footnotes. But this is not the truth. This is not the case. You will find in ancient history women who didn't just influence empires, they commanded them. They led cavalry charges, redefined religion, and built monuments that were meant to erase the very men who tried to hold them back. They were pharaohs, queens, priestesses, politicians, and military leaders. We have always been in places of power. Women like Cleopatra, Nefertiti, Joan of Arc, and Mary Magdalene, Jesus' mother. These women were smart, confident, respected, and revered. They earned their place in history right along with their male counterparts. Women have always been involved, and we have had a hand in all aspects of building the world from the beginning. Men for ages have been taught they are the protector and breadwinner of a family, but men have always needed and relied on women to help hold things down and to keep the home fires burning. We have influenced and given our ideas that have shaped the world, that has kept it safe, when men have been irate. Without these ancient women contributions to history, without their input, no telling where we would be today. Now, let's take a look at misogyny and how it has shaped women's part in history. The definition of misogyny. Misogyny is the hatred of, aversion to, or ingrained prejudice against women. It acts as a central component of sexism, promoting patriarchal, unequal, or abusive behavior aimed at controlling or belittling women. It manifests through both subtle everyday sexism and extreme actions like violence or sexual harassment. But the question is, why do men choose to hate women? Of course, not all men hate women, but there seems to be something going on. Could it be the male ego? For some reason, they look at us as their enemies. These men will turn on women if we don't want to be their property or looked at as a trophy. These men can become hostile, abusive, and mean. Maybe it's because they believe we are nothing but objects. Pretty little things to be collected. That we should only sit back and be quiet. To not use our brains. To only do what they say and not think. If that's what they believe women should do, then they are crazy. This is why statistics show men over 85 dying alone in nursing homes without families, friends. Because they didn't foster long-lasting connections. Men can lack and refuse to show empathy. They rather give commands than to listen. To be right with the loudest voices to be heard, and they need to have the last word. But men too are a victim to this patriarchy system. And that's due to other men's ideology of what a real man should be. For example, when men are looked at as weak, the men will call them soft. And excuse my language here, ladies, a pussy. Suggesting a man is like a man's womb. But little do they know a woman's womb is powerful. What other organs in the world can house a human being for 9 months? An organ during labor that expands, strengthens, and contracts to give birth to a baby. While the woman is in excruciating pain. It feels like your insides are being torn out, and this can go on for hours or days. All of this to bring life into this world, so our species can continue to thrive and survive. Men can never understand nor endure that type of pain and live. Today, make sure you give the woman in your life more than flowers. Thank her for bringing forth life. Now this leads us to another question. Why are men jealous of women? Why do we think men have jealousy towards women? Because some men believe women have it easy. That women are groomed at an early age to search for a husband. To be some man's bride. That we are just looking for Prince Charming to take care of us until we grow old. To live happily ever after. That we are raised to be gold diggers, and we only want men for their money. If that was the case, then 90% of men wouldn't be married. Then only the elite and wealthy would be married. But that's not the woman's fault. This is patriarchy. It's the teaching from the Christian Bible. A system to make sure women participate, to choose a male, be fruitful, and have lots of babies. This is what patriarchy demands of men. To go out and work hard. To take care of your family. We all have a role in this patriarchy system, and the women's part is to stay at home. So don't be mad at women. Men need to be mad at the system they created.
Gloomy, bleak, and scary. It feels like a real-life horror movie. Like The Purge, or The Hunger Games. The survival of the fittest. So, what do we do? Who do we, the people, turn to? These are the questions we, the people, need answered.
Femininity is a set of social, cultural, and personal attributes, behaviors, and roles typically associated with women and girls, such as nurturing, sensitivity, empathy, and grace. It is often regarded as a socially constructed concept that varies across cultures and history rather than being purely biological. We feel like this definition is what patriarchy defines that women should be. Sweet, kind, and demure. If you don't live up to these standards, then men will look at her as mean, bitter, and a whore. Men right now feel emboldened that they have the right to judge and critique women's bodies, especially on social media. Now every man can have their thoughts anonymously from a fake profile and give their unsolicited opinion on a woman's looks and body. Dare I say, they feel entitled. And in 2022, when the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, now men really have a lot to say. They are really weighing in on women's rights to our autonomy. In 1926, the world was wrestling with women's rights to vote. We're now exactly 1 century later. You'd think the conversation would have evolved into something unrecognizable, completely different. But as of May 2026, the data tells a different story. According to the latest UN Women's Alert, women globally still hold just 60% of the legal rights that men do. At our current pace, we aren't decades away from equality. We are 286 years away. That should be a scary and sobering thought. Which bears the question, what's the real issue here? When we take a deeper look at all the issues in the world, what's the common denominator? The answer comes back to its patriarchy. It's men who are the ones who mostly run the world. It's men who are making the decisions and policies that affect our lives. Every man, woman, and child. Men can be irrational and reactive in their decision-making. This isn't a deep dive to bash men on Mother's Day. It's just time for men to understand more about women, and to help us preserve women's rights. Maybe it's time that men take the back seat and let women drive for a minute. Let us fix what is broken without going to war. Here for Mother's Day, let's pledge to nurture and bring the world back to the way it was. Bring Mother Earth back to her old self again. If civil rights is the what, autonomy is the how. In 2026, the battle for bodily autonomy has moved into a high-stakes legal bounty era. In the U.S., the 2026 midterm elections are looming. Voters in states like Missouri and Nevada are heading to the polls for critical ballot measures that could either codify reproductive rights or solidify fetal personhood laws. But it's not just about the procedure. It's about data. In 2026, your autonomy is tied to your smartphone. We're seeing a surge in state-level fights over license used, to track travel to out-of-states clinics, health app privacy, a digital trail of menstrual cycles being used as evidence, the expanded global gag rule, a massive shift in U.S. foreign aid that now restricts global organizations from even discussing gender equality or LGBTQ+ rights if they want to keep their funding. Women now face a new type of violence in 2026 that the legal system wasn't built for: digital violence. As technology outpaces regulation, the UN has noted a climate of impunity. Deepfake non-consensual imagery, AI-driven harassment, and the algorithm silencing of women activists having created a digital environment where autonomy is easily stripped away without a single physical law being broken. The right to be forgotten and the right to digital safety are the new civil right frontiers of this decade. So ladies, we need to make sure we vote this year in November 2026 midterms. Let's make our voices heard, louder and clearer. Exercise your voting rights so they can't take them away. Happy Mother's Day. In the words of Queen Bee, girls rule the world, but we know women rule the universe. This will conclude Misogyny v. Femininity, Women's Liberty, Civil Rights, and Autonomy Deep Dive. We hope you enjoyed this dark and morbid deep dive. If you did enjoy it, then please like, share, and comment to let us know. And if you're new, please subscribe. Again, we are trying to reach 1,000 subscribers this year for 2026. Become a part of the P.H.S. crew. And since you made it this far, then why don't you click on the iCard? We have many original horror stories and deep dives you will enjoy. We appreciate and thank you all, and we will see you in our next video.